Imagine, if you will, that your desire has already been fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, the overwhelming sense of gratitude that accompanies the realization of your deepest wishes. This feeling, this state of being, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies dormant within you. You see, the world around us is nothing more than a reflection of our inner state. What we perceive as reality is merely a shadow cast by the light of our consciousness. And just as a shadow cannot exist without light, our external experiences cannot manifest without the power of our imagination. Consider for a moment the nature of prayer. Many of us have been taught to beseech an external deity, to plead for favors from a being separate from ourselves. But I tell you now, true prayer is not a petition to an outside force. It is a recognition of the divine power that resides within each and each one of us. When you pray, you are not reaching out to a distant God. You are, in fact, awakening to the God within you. This God, this infinite creative force, is not separate from you. It is you in your truest, most essential form. And it is through this understanding that your prayers find their answer. The Bible tells us before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is not a promise of some future event, but a statement of an eternal truth. The answer to your prayer exists now, in this very moment. It is not something to be created, but something to be realized. Your task then is not to make your desire come true, but to align yourself with the reality in which it is already true. This is the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you can live from the end, when you can experience the joy and gratitude of your desire, as if it were already accomplished, you set in motion the forces that would bring it into your physical experience. Many of you may be thinking, but how can I feel something that hasn't happened yet? To this I say, your imagination is more real than the world you see around you. The physical world is malleable, constantly changing and reshaping itself in response to the images we hold in our minds. Think of it this way. When you plant the seed in the ground, do you dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted? Of course not. You trust in the unseen processes of nature, knowing that in due time the seed will grow into a mighty tree. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Once planted, they need only your faith and your unwavering assumption of their fulfillment to grow into reality. This is the true meaning of faith. It is not blind belief in something unseen. It is the evidence of things not seen. When you can feel the reality of your desire so vividly that it becomes more real to you than the physical world around you, that is faith. And it is this faith that moves mountains. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Should you simply sit back and wait for your desires to manifest? Not at all. Action is indeed necessary, but it is inspired action. When you live in the end, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally guided to take the steps that lead to manifestation. These actions will not feel like struggle or strain. They will feel natural, effortless, as if you are being carried along by an invisible current. This is because you are no longer trying to make something happen. You are simply allowing what is already true in your imagination to express itself in your physical reality. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Every person, every circumstance you encounter is a reflection of your own consciousness. When you change your inner state, the world around you must change to reflect this new reality. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is the operation of universal law. Let me share with you a powerful technique to help you maintain this state of living in the end. Before you go to sleep each night, replay in your mind a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if your desire were already realized. As you drift off to sleep in this state, you are impressing this reality upon your subconscious mind. and it is your subconscious mind that shapes your world. By doing this night after night, you are reprogramming your subconscious to accept this new reality as truth. During your waking hours, whenever doubts or fears arise, and they will, for that is the nature of the human mind, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Do not fight against your negative thoughts. Simply replace them with the feeling of your desire accomplished. This practice requires persistence and patience. You are overcoming a lifetime of habit of seeing yourself as separate from your desires. But I promise you, with consistent application, you will begin to see changes in your world. At first, there may be small synchronicity here, a fortunate coincidence there. But as you persist, these changes will grow larger and more frequent. These changes will grow larger and more frequent until your entire world has reshaped itself to match your inner vision. Now let us address a common concern. Many of you may be thinking, but what if my desire doesn't manifest immediately? What if weeks or months pass and I see no change? To this I say, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of imagination, where all things are possible, time does not exist. Your desire is fulfilled now, in the eternal present moment. The time it takes to appear in your physical reality is determined by your ability to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The more consistently you can live in the end, the more quickly you will see results in your outer world. But do not make the mistake of looking for signs or trying to figure out how your desire will manifest. This is a form of doubt, a denial of the reality of your imaginal act. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. The how and when are not your concern. Trust in the wisdom of your subconscious mind to bring about the fulfillment of your desire in ways that you cannot even imagine. Remember, the outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner state, just as it takes time for light from distant stars to reach the earth. It may take time for the changes in your consciousness to fully manifest in your physical reality. But make no mistake, the change has already occurred the moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is why I say to you now, your prayer is about to be answered. In the realm of imagination, where all creation takes place, it is already answered. Your task now is to align yourself with this truth, to live and move, and have your being in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Let us consider for a moment the nature of consciousness. Most of us go through life believing that we are our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions. But I tell you now, you are none of these things. You are pure awareness, the observer of all these phenomena. Your true self is not affected by the circumstances of your life. It is not limited by your past experiences or your current situation. It is infinite, eternal, and all-powerful. When you identify with this true self, you tap into a wellspring of creative power that knows no bounds. This is the meaning behind the biblical statement, I am my Father, or what? Your human personality, with all its limitations and fears, is not separate from the infinite creative power of the universe. They are one and the same. When you truly understand and internalize this truth, you will see that there is nothing you cannot be, do, or have. Now, some of you may be thinking, but what about other people? Don't they have their own free will? How can I manifest a specific person or situation that involves others? To this I say, there are no others. There is only one consciousness, individualized in billions of forms, but ultimately one. The people in your life are playing the roles that you have assigned to them through your beliefs and assumptions. When you change your conception of yourself and others, they must change to reflect your new awareness. This is not about controlling others, but about realizing that the entire world is yourself pushed out. This understanding brings with it a great responsibility. If you are the operant power in your world, if your consciousness is creating your reality, then you must be valid about what you accept as true. Every thought, every assumption, Every belief is a seed that will grow into experience. This is why it is so crucial to guard the door of your mind. Be selective about what you allow to take root in your consciousness. Choose thoughts and assumptions that align with your desires, that reflect the reality you wish to experience. And when you find yourself faced with undesirable circumstances, remember these are not obstacles to be overcome. There are opportunities to practice your power of revision. You can literally revise any event in your imagination. And if you do so with conviction and persistence, you will see your revised version replace the original in your physical experience. This power of revision is not limited to current or future events. You can even revise your past. If there are memories that pain you, experiences that you feel have limited you in some way, you can go back in your imagination and rewrite those scenes. As you do this, you will find that your present circumstances begin to change, aligning themselves with your new revised past. Now, I want to address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I have this power to create my reality, why have I experienced hardship and suffering in my life? This is a profound question, and the answer lies in understanding the nature of consciousness and its evolution. You see, your life experiences, both positive and negative, are not punishments or rewards from an external source. They are the natural outpicturing of your state of consciousness. Often we are not aware of our deepest beliefs and assumptions. These subconscious patterns shape our reality without our conscious awareness. The challenges and difficulties you have faced in your life have served a purpose. They have brought you to this moment, to this understanding of your true power. Without them, you might never have sought a deeper truth, never have awakened to your divine nature. Moreover, what we perceive as hardship or suffering is often the breaking down of old patterns to make way for new growth. Just as a caterpillar must struggle to break free from its cocoon, strengthening its wings in the process, so too do our struggles strengthen us and prepare us for higher states of consciousness. But now that you are aware of your power, now that you understand the law of assumption, you no longer need to learn through suffering. You can consciously choose your state of being, and in doing so, choose your experiences. This is the meaning of the biblical injunction to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. As you change your habitual thought patterns, as you cultivate new assumptions about yourself and the world, you literally transform your entire experience of reality. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. This is why it is so important to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled to life from the end. By doing so, you are choosing to be conscious of your desire as an accomplished fact. As you go through your day, continually remind yourself of this truth. Whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever circumstances you encounter, ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? Then assume that feeling. Let it permeate your entire being. This practice may feel strange or unnatural at first. Your senses, conditioned by a lifetime of external focus, may rebel against this new way of being, but persist. Remember, your senses show you the world as it was, not as it is. They reflect the beliefs and assumptions you held in the past. As you maintain your new assumption, your senses will gradually align with your new reality. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of manifestation. Many of you may be wondering about the role of detachment in this process. Should you be constantly focused on your desire, or should you let go and let go? The truth is, both attachment and detachment play a role in the manifestation process. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you are attaching yourself to the reality of your desire. You are claiming it as your own here and now. But at the same time, you must detach from the need for your desire to manifest in a particular way or within a specific time frame. This detachment comes naturally when you truly believe in the reality of your imaginal form. Just as you don't anxiously wait for the sun to rise each morning, knowing with certainty that it will, so too should you rest in the certainty that your desire is already yours. This state of relaxed assumption is the key to effortless manifestation. It is the Sabbath spoken of in Scripture, the rest we enter into when we cease from our own labors and allow the Lord to work on our behalf. As you go about your daily life, maintain an attitude of quiet confidence. Know that the entire universe is working to bring about the fulfillment of your desire. Your only task is to remain faithful to your assumption, to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now, some of you may be experiencing what seems like a delay in the manifestation of your desire. Perhaps you've been practicing these principles for some time without seeing tangible results. To you, I say, do not be discouraged. Remember, what you are doing is reprogramming your entire subconscious mind, overcoming a lifetime of limiting beliefs and assumptions. This process takes time, but it is inevitable. Just a seed planted in the ground will inevitably grow into a plant, so too will your assumption inevitably manifest in your physical reality. The only variable is time, and time is determined by the intensity of your faith and the consistency of your assumption. If you find your faith wavering, if doubts and fears arise, do not fight against them. Simply acknowledge them and return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Every time you do this, you are strengthening your new assumption, making it more and more real to you. Making it more and more real to you. Remember, the outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner state. Continue to live from the end. Continue to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and you will see your world transform before your eyes. Now, let us address another aspect of this work that many find challenging. The concept of everyone is you pushed out. This principle states that every person in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. They play the roles that you have assigned to them through your beliefs and assumptions. This can be a difficult concept to accept, especially when we encounter people who seem to oppose our desires or who behave in ways that cause us pain. But I urge you to consider, if everyone is you pushed out, then changing others becomes as simple as changing yourself. Instead of trying to manipulate or control others, focus on changing your conception of them. See them as you would like them to be. Assume that they are already behaving in ways that align with your desire. As you do this consistently, you will be amazed at how their behavior towards you begins to change. This principle extends beyond individual relationships to encompass your entire world experience. The events you see on the news, the state of the economy, the condition of the environment, all of these are reflections of collective human consciousness. And as an individualization of that consciousness, you have the power to influence these collective states through your own assumptions. Imagine the implications of this understanding by assuming a state of peace and harmony within yourself. You contribute to the manifestation of peace in the world. By assuming abundance and prosperity, you play a part in creating a more prosperous world for all. This is the true meaning of being the change you wish to see in the world. It is not about external action, although inspired action will naturally flow from your changed state. It is about embodying the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desired reality. As you practice living from the end, as you persistently assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will begin to experience what I call signs following. These are external events and circumstances that confirm your new assumption. They may seem like coincidences or strokes of good fortune, but they are in fact the natural results of your changed consciousness. When you experience these signs following, do not make the mistake of becoming overly excited or attached to them. Simply acknowledge them as confirmation that the law is working and continue to live from the end. Remember, Your desire is not something to be achieved in the future. It is a present fact in your imagination, and it is from this present fact that you must live. Now, I want to address a common misconception about this work. Many people believe that the law of assumption can only be used for material gain or personal advantage. Nothing could be further from the truth. The highest use of this law is for spiritual awakening and the realization of your true divine nature. As you practice living from the end, as you cultivate the ability to assume states of consciousness at will, you are in fact preparing yourself for the ultimate assumption, the realization of your oneness with God. This is the true purpose of all desire, to lead you back to your divine source. Every desire you have, whether for material success, loving relationships, or personal growth, is ultimately a desire for the feeling those things will give you, and that feeling is a state of consciousness, a way of being. As you master the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are mastering the art of consciously choosing your state of being. This is why I say that desire is the august messenger of God. It is through our desires that we are led to explore different stored effortlessness, different ways of being. And through this exploration, we eventually come to realize our true nature as infinite, eternal beings of pure awareness. So do not judge your desires as good or bad, spiritual or material. All desires serve the ultimate purpose of awakening you to your true self. Embrace them, use them as opportunities to practice the law of assumption, and watch as they lead you to ever higher states of consciousness. As we conclude, remember this: your prayer is already answered. The power to manifest your desires lies within you. It's not about making things happen, but aligning with the reality where they've already occurred. Your imagination is the creative force shaping your world. What you consistently imagine and feel as real will inevitably manifest. This isn't wishful thinking, but a fundamental law of consciousness. Practice living from the end. Feel the joy and gratitude of your fulfilled desire. Let this feeling permeate your being. As you maintain this state, your outer world will reshape itself to match your inner vision. Remember, everyone and everything in your life reflects your consciousness. Change your conception of yourself and others, and watch as your reality transforms. Persistence is key. Your only task is to remain faithful to your assumption. Trust in the perfect timing of the universe. Release attachment to how or when your desire will manifest. Release attachment to how or when your desire will manifest. Every challenge is an opportunity to practice revision. You can rewrite any event in your imagination, changing your past and present. Your desires are divine messages leading you to explore different states of consciousness. Embrace them as stepping stones to spiritual awakening. As you master the art of conscious assumption, you're preparing for the ultimate realization, your oneness with the divine. This is the true purpose of all desire and manifestation. Go forth with the knowledge that you are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness creates your reality. Live from this understanding and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Your prayers is answered. Your desire is fulfilled. It is done. This will find you when you need it most. Ponder these words, for they contain within them the very essence of your being, the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. You see, everything in your world, every circumstance, every encounter, every fleeting thought is but a reflection of your own consciousness. And it is this consciousness, this awareness of being, that is the true source of all that you experience. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. You, my dear listener, are not merely a physical body moving through space and time. You are in essence pure consciousness, the very fabric of reality itself. And it is through this consciousness that you shape and mold your entire world. Every desire, every fear, every leaf you hold dear becomes the blueprint for your life experiences. Now you may ask, but Wayne, how can this be? How can my thoughts and feelings create my reality? And to this I say, open your mind to the greatest secret of all, the law of assumption. This law, as immutable as gravity itself, states that whatever state you assume to be true must be made manifest in your world. It is not hope, not mere positive thinking, but a deep, unshakable knowing that brings your desires into being. Consider for a moment the times in your life when you've needed something most. Perhaps it was guidance, perhaps it was comfort, or perhaps it was a sudden flash of inspiration. Did you not find in those moments of greatest need that the very thing you required seemed to appear as if by magic? This, my friends, is no coincidence. It is the law of assumption at work, bringing to you exactly what you need precisely when you need it most. But let us not mistake this for some external force, some capricious universe doling out favors. No, the power lies entirely within you. You are the operant power, the God of your universe, shaping reality through the power of your imagination. When you fully grasp this truth, when you internalize it to the very core of your being, you will understand that nothing is impossible to you. Imagine, if you will, a world where every desire of your heart is fulfilled, where every dream you've ever dared to dream becomes your living reality. This world, my friends, is not some far-off utopia. It is the very world you inhabit right now, waiting to be molded by the power of your assumption. For when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as though your desire were already a fact, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension, aligning the entire universe to bring about your desired state. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, I've tried positive thinking before. I've visualized, I've affirmed, and still my desires elude me. To this I say, you have not yet fully embraced the law of assumption. For it is not enough to merely think positively or to visualize half-heartedly. You must feel it, live it, breathe it. You must assume the state of your wish fulfilled with such conviction that to experience anything else becomes an impossibility. Let me share with you a technique, a method so simple yet so profound that it has the power to revolutionize your entire existence. It is the technique of living from the end. In the quiet of your mind, in that still space between sleeping and waking, create a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it. Make it so real, so vivid that for a moment you foresight your present circumstances entirely, and in that moment of forgetting, you plant the seed of your new reality. But remember, my dear friends, this is not a one-time exercise. It is a way of life, a constant state of being. You must persist in your assumption, even when the outside world seems to contradict it. For the outside world is but a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. Your true power lies in the present moment, in your ability to choose right now the state you wish to occupy. Consider the biblical phrase before they call, "I will answer." This is not the proclamation of some external deity, but a profound statement about the nature of consciousness itself. Your desires, your needs are already fulfilled in the realm of infinite possibility. It is your task, through the power of assumption, to bring them into your three-dimensional reality. Now you may wonder, how long must I persist? When will I see the fruits of my assumption? And to this I say, the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is directly proportional to the naturalness of your assumption. When your desired state feels as natural to you as breathing, when you can no longer conceive of any other reality, then will it manifest with a speed that will astonish you. But do not be discouraged if at first you stumble, if doubt creeps in, if the old man reassess himself. This is natural, for you are engaging in a radical transformation of consciousness. You are literally rebirthing yourself, shedding old limitations, and embracing your divine nature. Persistence is key. Each time you catch yourself stepping into old patterns of thought, gently but firmly redirect your attention to the state of your wish fulfilled. Remember, my friends, that your imagination is not bound by the so. called facts of your current reality. Your imagination transcends time and space, operating in a realm where all things are possible. When you imagine lovingly on behalf of another, when you see them as they wish to be seen, you are performing the highest act of creation, for in truth there is no other. All is you pushed out, all is a reflection of your own magnificent consciousness. Let us now turn our attention to the concept of time, for it plays a crucial role in understanding how this message finds you when you need it most. Time, as you experience it in your day-to-day life, is but an illusion, a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, all moments exist simultaneously. The past, present, and future are one eternal now. This understanding is crucial, for it means that the moment of your greatest need and the moment of its fulfillment are one and the same. When you fully grasp this truth, you will see that there is no waiting, no striving, no desperate seeking. There is only the calm assurance that all is well, all is as it should be, all is unfolding in divine perfection. Consider the times in your life when a book has fallen open to exactly the page you needed to read, or when a chance encounter provided the very guidance you were seeking. These are not random occurrences, but perfect demonstrations of the law of assumption at work. You drew these experiences to you through your state of consciousness, through your awareness of need, and your openness to receive. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of manifestation, for understanding this process will empower you to consciously create the life you desire. Every experience in your life, every person you encounter, every circumstance you find yourself in is a reflection of your dominant state of consciousness. Your world is quite literally molded by your beliefs, expectations, and assumptions. This is why two people can experience the same external event in radically different ways. One sees opportunity where another sees obstacle. One finds joy where another finds despair. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in the consciousness through which it is perceived. Understanding this, you begin to see the immense power you hold. No longer are you a victim of circumstance buffeted about by forces beyond your control. You are the author of your life story, the director of your grand play, and with this power comes great responsibility. The responsibility to consciously choose the states you occupy, to carefully curate the assumptions you hold. But how, you may ask, does one go about changing deeply ingrained patterns of thought and belief? The answer lies in the art of revision. Each night before you sleep, review the events of your day, but do not simply replay them as they occurred. In fact, revise them. See them unfolding as you would have wished them to unfold. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of fulfillment that comes with this revised version of events. This practice serves two purposes. First, it trains your mind to focus on the desired state rather than the current reality. Second, and more profoundly, it actually rewrites your past. For remember, time is an illusion. The past exists only in your memory, and your memory can be altered through the power of imagination. As you consistently practice revision, you will find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. You will naturally gravitate towards more positive states of being, attracting experiences that align with your revised assumptions. This is how you actively participate in the creation of your reality, how you ensure that what you need most always finds you at the perfect moment. Now, let us address a question that often arises when discussing these concepts. What about other people? Can I use the law of assumption to change their behavior or circumstances? The answer, my friends, is both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that all is you pushed out. All is a reflection of your consciousness, and no, in the sense that attempting to manipulate others for personal gain is a misuse of this divine law. Instead, I urge you to see others through the eyes of love, to imagine lovingly on their behalf. See them as they wish to be seen, as their highest, most actualized selves. In doing so, you not only elevate them, but you elevate yourself. For remember, there is no other. In blessing others, you bless yourself. In seeing the divine in others, you recognize the divine within you. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. Many of you struggle with feelings of unworthiness, with the belief that you are somehow not deserving of your heart's desires. But I say to you, with all the conviction of my being, that you are worthy beyond measure. You are a divine being, a perfect expression of the infinite Creator, worthy of all the love, abundance, and joy that life has to offer. If you find yourself struggling with self-love, begin by assuming the state of one who is deeply loved and cherished. Feel it, live it, breathe it. As you persist in this assumption, you will find your entire world transforming to reflect this new self-concept. For the outside world can only ever show you what you hold to be true about yourself. Now let us turn our attention to the concept of detachment, for it is crucial in understanding how to navigate the path of manifestation. Many of you, in your eagerness to see your desires fulfilled, cling tightly to the outcome, anxiously awaiting signs of its manifestation. But this very anxiety, this attachment to results, creates resistance that slows the process of manifestation. True mastery lies in detachment, in the ability to plant the seed of your desire and then let it grow naturally, without constantly digging it up to check its progress. This detachment comes from a place of deep trust, trust in the law, trust in the process, and most importantly, trust in yourself as the operant power in your universe. When you truly understand that your desire is already fulfilled in the realm of infinite possibility, that it is making its youth through the bridge of incidents, if you can relax into a state of calm expectancy, you need not worry about the how or the when. Your only task is to maintain the assumption of your wish fulfilled, to live each day from the state of the person who already has what they desire. This state of relaxed expectancy, of knowing without anxious striving, is the fertile soil in which your desires take root and flourish. It is in this state that you become most receptive to inspiration, to divine guidance, to those seemingly miraculous coincidences that lead you effortlessly towards the fulfillment of your desires. Remember, my dear friends, that the universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack, no limitation, except that which you impose upon yourself through your beliefs and assumptions. When you truly internalize this truth, where you live from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you open yourself to receive blessings beyond your wildest dreams. This abundance mindset extends far beyond material possessions. It encompasses love, joy, peace, creativity, all the qualities that make life rich and fulfilling. As you assume the state of one who is abundantly blessed in all areas of life, you will find that opportunities and resources flow to you effortlessly, often in ways you could never have anticipated. Now let us address a common misconception, the idea that assuming your desire fulfilled means sitting back passively and waiting for it to appear. Nothing could be further from the truth. The law of assumption is not about inaction, but inspired action. When you truly assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you naturally begin to think, feel, and act in alignment with that state. You may find yourself suddenly inspired to take a certain course of action, to reach out to a particular prodding, to explore a new opportunity. These inspired actions flow naturally from your assumed state, guiding you effortlessly towards the manifestation of your desire. The key is to remain open and receptive, to trust your intuition, and to act on these divine impulses when they arise. Remember, every desire that arises within you carries within it the seed of its own fulfillment. The very fact that you can conceive of a desire means that you have the capacity to bring it into manifestation. Your task is not to make it happen through force of will, but to align your consciousness with the fulfillment of that desire, to become in imagination the person who already has what you seek. As you go about your daily life practicing the law of assumption, you will begin to notice a profound shift in your perception of reality. The world around you will seem more vibrant, more alive with possibility. Synchronicities will abound, doors will open where before there were only walls. This is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with the infinite creative power of the universe. But remember, my friends, that this journey of conscious creation is not about accumulating possessions or achieving worldly success. While these things may come as a natural byproduct of your expanded consciousness, the true goal is the realization of your divine nature, the full expression of your infinite potential. As you master the art of living from the end, of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. No longer will you be driven by lack or fear, but by a deep desire to express your unique gifts, to contribute to the world in meaningful ways, to experience the fullness of life in all its magnificent variety. This evolution of desire is a natural part of your spiritual growth. As you align more fully with your true nature, as you embrace your role as a conscious creator, you will find yourself drawn to experiences and pursuits that bring you into greater harmony with the divine flow of life. Now let us address a question that often arises as one begins to consciously apply the law of assumption. What about setbacks and challenges? How do I maintain my assumption in the face of apparent failure or disappointment? This, my friends, is where your faith is truly tested, where the rubber meets the road in your journey of conscious creation. Remember that what appears to be a setback or failure is often a necessary part of the bridge of incidents leading to the fulfillment of your desire. The universe always moves in the most efficient way possible to bring about your assumed state. What may seem like a detour or delay from your limited human perspective may in fact be the perfect unfolding of events to lead you to your desired outcome. In these moments of apparent setback, it is crucial to redouble your efforts in maintaining your assumption. Do not be swayed by appearances, for they are but shadows of past beliefs. Instead, stand firm in your conviction, knowing that your desired state is already a reality in the realm of infinite possibility, making it your three-dimensional experience. Use these moments as opportunities to strengthen your faith, to deepen your understanding of the law. For it is often in our darkest moments that our greatest breakthroughs occur, when we are forced to dig deep and find reserves of faith and resilience we never knew we possessed. Remember, too, that the law of assumption operates with mathematical precision. There is no room for doubt or uncertainty in its operation. When you assume a state, the entire universe conspires to bring it into manifestation. Your only task is to persist in that assumption, to live from that state with unwavering faith, regardless of external circumstances. As you continue on this journey of conscious creation, you will find that your entire relationship with life begins to shift. No longer will you see yourself as a small, powerless being at the mercy of external forces. Instead, you will recognize yourself as the divine creator of your reality, shaping your world through the power of your consciousness. This shift in perspective brings with it a profound sense of peace and empowerment. For when you truly understand that you are the author of your life story, that you have the power to rewrite any aspect of your experience at any moment, fear and anxiety naturally fall away. In that place arises a deep sense of trust in the perfection of life's unfolding. But with this power comes great responsibility. As you become more adept at consciously creating your reality, you must also become more mindful of the states you occupy, the assumptions you hold. For remember, the law is impartial. It will bring into manifestation whatever state you assume, whether positive or negative. This is why it is crucial to cultivate a practice of self-awareness, to become the vigilant observer of your own thoughts and feelings. Catch yourself when you slip into negative states, when you entertain doubts or fears. Gently, but firmly redirect your attention to the state of your wish fulfilled. With practice, this redirection becomes second nature, a natural reflex of your awakened consciousness. As you master this art of conscious living, you will find that your life becomes a joyous adventure, a grand exploration of the infinite possibilities that exist within you. Every day becomes an opportunity to experience new aspects of your divine nature, to express more fully the unique gifts you have to offer the world. For you see, the you that you believe yourself to be, that collection of memories, experiences, and self-imposed limitations is but a shadow of your true self. You are not the sum of your past experiences, nor are you defined by the opinions and judgments of others. You are, in truth, an infinite being of pure consciousness, temporarily clothed in the garment of human flesh. Let us begin by understanding that your current state of being, your present circumstances, are nothing more than the outpicturing of your past assumptions and beliefs. Every aspect of your life, from the state of your health to the balance of your bank account, is a direct reflection of the thoughts and beliefs you have accepted as true. But here's the liberating truth. You are not bound by these thoughts and beliefs unless you choose to be. Consider for a moment the nature of your thoughts. They come and go, fleeting and ephemeral like clouds passing across the sky of your consciousness. Yet, how often do we cling to these thoughts, believing them to be the very fabric of our being? We say, I am poor, I am unlucky in love, I am not talented enough, as if these statements were immutable facts rather than transient beliefs. But I tell you now with absolute certainty that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the silent observer that watches the parade of ideas marching through your mind. This awareness, this consciousness, is your true self, boundless, eternal, and filled with infinite potential. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. When you say, I think, who is the I that is doing the thinking? Is it not something beyond the thought itself? This I is the true you, the being of pure awareness that exists prior to all thoughts and experiences. It is this I that we must learn to identify with rather than the fleeting contents of our minds. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, if I am not my thoughts, then who am I? And to this I say, you are the very substance of God, for it is written in the scriptures, I and my Father are one. This is not mere poetic language, my friends, but the most profound truth of existence. The I am that you feel when you say I am is the very same I am that spoke the universe into being. Realize that every time you say I am, you are invoking the name of God. It is the creative power of the universe itself. So when you say I am poor, I am sick, I am unlucky, you are quite literally commanding the universe to manifest these conditions in your life. But oh, the glorious flip side of this truth. When you declare, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am blessed beyond measure, you are setting in motion the very forces of creation to bring these states into your experience. This, my dear listeners, is the crux of our discussion tonight. You are not what you think you are what you believe yourself to be at the deepest level of your being. And this belief, this assumption, can be changed. You have the power here, and now to choose a new concept of self, to select the version of you that you wish to be, and to live from that state until it becomes your reality. Let me share with you a secret that has transformed countless lives. The power of revision. You see, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. This means that you have the ability to go back into your past in your imagination and relive events as you wish they had happened. By doing so, you are literally rewriting the script of your life, changing the trajectory of your present and future. Suppose you had an argument with a loved one earlier today. Instead of replaying the unpleasant scene in your mind, reinforcing the negative emotions and outcomes, choose instead to revise it. Close your eyes and imagine the scene playing out differently. See yourself responding with love and understanding. Feel the warmth of reconciliation and harmony. Do this with the full intensity of your imagination, and watch as your outer world begins to reflect this new inner reality. This practice of revision is not mere wishful thinking or self-delusion. It is a recognition of the fluid nature of time and the malleable nature of reality itself. For time, as we experience it in this three-dimensional world, is but an illusion. All moments past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the eternal now. By changing your concept of the past, you are quite literally altering the substance from which your present and future are formed. Now, I can sense that some of you may be struggling with this concept. You may be thinking, but Wayne, I have tried positive thinking before and nothing changed. To this, I say positive thinking alone is not enough. What is required is a complete shift in your state of consciousness. You must not merely think the thoughts of the person you wish to be. You must become that person in your imagination. This is where the power of assumption comes into play. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live and move and have your being as if your desire were already a fact, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe. Remember, your imagination is not a fantasy spinning faculty designed to escape reality. It is the very substance of reality itself, the God-given power to create and shape your world. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack, or even on the process of acquiring wealth, you must assume the state of already being wealthy. How would you feel if you were already in possession of great wealth? How would you walk, talk, and carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? Leave from this state, persist in it, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner assumption. This is not to say that you should neglect practical action, but understand that inspired action springs naturally from your assumed state of being. When you truly believe and feel yourself to be wealthy, you will find opportunities for increasing your wealth presenting themselves to you effortlessly. You will be inspired to take actions that align with your new self-concept, and these actions will bear fruit in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. Now let us address another crucial aspect of this teaching, the nature of your desires. Many of you have been taught that your desires are somehow separate from you, that there are things to be pursued and attained, but I tell you now your desires are not external to you. They are the voice of God within you, calling you to express more of your true divine nature. When you feel a burning desire for something, be it a loving relationship, a fulfilling career, or perfect health, know that this desire is not born of lack. It is in fact a preview of coming attractions. It is your higher self, your God self, calling you to step into a greater expression of who you truly are. The very presence of the desire is proof of its possibility, for how could you desire something that was not already yours on some level of being? This understanding liberates you from the anxious pursuit of your desires. Instead of chasing after them, you can rest in the calm assurance that what you desire desires you. Your role is simply to align your consciousness with the state of having already received your heart's desire. As you do this, you open yourself to receive the good that is already yours. Let us now turn our attention to the world around you. Many of you may look at the conditions of your life and the state of the world and feel discouraged. You may think, how can I possibly change my reality when there is so much evidence to the contrary? But I urge you to remember the world you see is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of past beliefs and assumptions. The outer world, in all its seeming solidity, is far more malleable than you might think. It is, in fact, infinitely responsive to your state of consciousness. When you change your concept of self, when you assume a new state of being, the entire universe moves to accommodate your new self-concept. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is the law by which worlds are framed. Consider the words of the prophet Isaiah, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not merely poetic language, but a statement of cosmic law. Your inner world, your state of consciousness is the cause and the outer world is the effect. Change the cause and the effect must necessarily change. This understanding places a great responsibility upon your shoulders. For if you are the creator of your reality, then you must be willing to take full responsibility for every aspect of your life. No longer can you blame circumstances, other people, or faith for your conditions. But with this responsibility comes immense power, the power to reshape your world according to your highest ideals. Now, some of you may be wondering, if I am not what I think I am, if I am this infinite being of pure consciousness, why do I not experience this in my daily life? The answer lies in the power of habit and the nature of your attention. You have spent years, perhaps lifetimes, identifying with your limited self-concept. You have practiced the art of being small, of being less than you truly are. But just as you have practiced limitation, you can practice expansion. You can train yourself to identify with your true, infinite nature. This is the essence of spiritual practice. Not to become something you are not, but to realize and express what you have always been. One powerful way to do this is through the practice of meditation. Not the meditation of emptying your mind, but the meditation of filling your consciousness with awareness of your true nature. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and simply be aware of being aware. Feel the I am presence within you, that sense of existence that underlies all your experiences. As you do this regularly, you will find your identification shifting from the limited ego self to the infinite divine self. Another powerful practice is the use of affirmations, but not in the way they are commonly understood. Instead of repeating phrases by rote, feel the truth of the statements you make. When you say, I am wealthy, feel the reality abundance coursing through your being. When you declare, I am love, feel the warmth of divine love embracing you. Remember, it is not the words themselves that have power, but the feeling thrown behind them. As you engage in these practices, you may encounter resistance. Old beliefs and habits may rise up, challenging your new understanding. This is natural and to be expected. Your ego self, that collection of beliefs and memories you have identified with for so long, will fight to maintain its existence. But remember, this resistance is not your true self. It is merely the dying gasp and outmoded concept of being. When you encounter this resistance, do not fight against it. Fighting only gives it power and reality. Instead, simply observe it with compassion and understanding. Know that it is nothing more than a passing cloud in the vast sky of your consciousness. As you persist in your new assumptions, as you continue to live from your desired state, these old patterns will gradually dissolve like mist before the rising sun. Now, let us address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I am not what I think I am, if I am this infinite being, why do I experience limitations and challenges in my life? This is a profound question, and the answer lies in the purpose of your earthly existence. You see, you have chosen to incarnate in this three-dimensional reality for the purpose of experience and expression. Just as an actor takes on a role to express certain aspects of human experience, you have taken on this human form to explore the infinite possibilities of being. The limitations and challenges you face are not punishment or obstacles, but opportunities for growth and self-realization. When you encounter a challenge in your life, instead of seeing it as a problem to be solved, see it as an invitation to express more of your true divine nature. Every difficulty is an opportunity to remember who you really are, to shed the limitations of your assumed identity and step into the fullness of your being. This understanding transforms your approach to life's challenges. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, What aspect of my divine nature am I being called to express through this experience? This shift in perspective aligns you with the flow of life, opening you to receive the lessons and blessings inherent in every situation. Remember, my dear friends, that you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power individualized and made manifest. The entire universe exists within you, waiting to be explored and expressed. When you truly grasp this truth, when you live from this understanding, you become a conscious co-creator with God, shaping your reality according to your highest vision. Now, let us delve even deeper into the nature of your being. You are not just a physical body, nor are you merely a collection of thoughts and emotions. You are consciousness itself, the awareness in which all experiences arise. This consciousness is not limited to your personal experiences. It is the very same consciousness that animates all of creation. When you realize this truth, you begin to see the divine in everything and everyone. The person sitting next to you, the tree outside your window, the stars in the night sky, all are expressions of the same consciousness that you are. This realization naturally gives rise to love, compassion, and a sense of unity with all of life. Living from this expanded state of consciousness does not mean you neglect your individual expression. On the contrary, it allows you to express your unique gifts and talents more fully. For when you know yourself as the infinite being that you are, you no longer fear judgment or failure. You are free to express yourself authentically, knowing that your individual expression is a vital and beautiful part of the cosmic dance. This understanding also transforms your relationships. When you see others as expressions of the same divine consciousness that you are, you naturally treat them with respect and kindness. You no longer need to manipulate or control others, for you recognize that their well-being is inseparable from your own. This is the basis of true love, not the needy, grasping love of the ego, but the expansive, unconditional love of your true nature. As you live from this expanded state of being, you will find that synchronicities and coincidences become more frequent in your life. This is because you are aligning yourself with the flow of universal intelligence. You begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, and you naturally flow with the currents of life rather than struggling against them. Now I want to address a common misconception about this teaching. Some of you may think that if you are not what you think you are, if your true nature is this infinite consciousness, then your individual personality and experiences don't matter. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your individual expression is how the infinite experiences itself inform. Your unique perspective, your talents, your desires, these are all valuable and necessary parts of the cosmic unfoldment. The key is to enjoy your individual expression while remembering your true nature. It's like an actor who fully embodies a role while never forgetting that they are acting. You can fully engage with your human experience with all its joys and sorrows, while maintaining the awareness of your true, infinite nature. This balanced perspective allows you to play the game of life with zest and enthusiasm without becoming overly attached to outcomes. You can set goals and work towards them, knowing that the real joy lies not in achieving the goal itself, but in the expression and expansion of your being that the pursuit allows. As we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to emphasize a crucial point. This teaching is not merely theoretical. It is meant to be lived, to be experienced in every moment of your daily life. It's not enough to intellectually understand that you are not what you think you are. You must live from this understanding, embody it in your thoughts, words, and actions. Start by questioning your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, I can't, I'm not good enough, good and eating thought, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Is this who I really am? Then consciously choose a thought that aligns with your true, infinite nature. Practice seeing yourself and others through the eyes of your higher self. Look beyond the surface appearances, beyond the roles and identities, to the divine essence that underlies all forms. As you do this consistently, you will find your perception of the world transforming. What once seemed like problems or obstacles will reveal themselves as opportunities for growth and expression. Engage in activities that remind you of your true nature. This could be meditation, as we discussed earlier, or it could be anything that brings you into a state of flow: art, music, dance, or communing with nature. These activities can serve as doorways to the experience of your infinite self. Remember, my dear friends, that this journey of self-realization is not about becoming something you are not. It is about realizing that you are not what you think you are. It is about remembering and expressing what you have always been. You are not evolving towards some future state of perfection. You are perfect, whole, and complete right now. Your journey is one of unveiling, of removing the veils of illusion that have hidden your true nature from your awareness. As you live from this understanding, you will find your life transforming in ways you might never have imagined. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will dissolve in the light of your expanded awareness. Opportunities that you never noticed before will present themselves. You will find yourself guided by an inner wisdom that far surpasses the limited reasoning of the ego mind. But perhaps the most beautiful transformation will be in your relationship with yourself and with life itself. As you recognize your true nature, you will naturally begin to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion. The harsh inner critic that many of you have lived with for so long will gradually be replaced by a voice of loving wisdom. You will also find a new appreciation for the simple joys of existence. The beauty of a sunset, the laughter of a child, the taste of good food. All of these will take on a new depth of meaning. You will realize that every moment is a miracle, an opportunity to experience and express the divine nature that you are. As we conclude our discourse on you are not what you think you are, I urge you to take this understanding into your daily life. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Remember that you are not limited by your past, by your circumstances, or by the opinions of others. You are an infinite being of pure consciousness, temporarily expressing yourself in human form. Embrace this truth, live from it, let it transform your world. For when you achieve who you truly are, when you live from the state of your divine nature, there are no limits to what you do or have. You are the creator of reality, the author of your life story. Write it boldly, live it fully, and watch as the world transforms before your eyes. Go forth, my dear friends, in the knowledge of your true nature. You are not what you think you are. You are infinitely more. You are the very substance of God, expressing itself in human form. Live from this truth and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place to be reached, but a state of consciousness to be realized and expressed. You are that kingdom, that power, that glory. Claim your divine inheritance. Live as the God being that you are. And so, with these words, I need you to contemplate and embody this profound truth. You are not what you think you are. You are the infinite, eternal, boundless being of pure awareness. Know this, love this, and transform your world.